Hi everybody, it is me, the fabulous Leo Brown. I know I haven't been on here in a month or so, but I wanted to come on and discuss something that I've been kind of, presently going through. And, I figured I might as well come on here. If I can talk about, things that are on the news, if I can talk about, metaphysical things, I can talk about myself. My goal this year is to be as transparent as I possibly can about myself and about my life. So here I go. Um, I have been seeing a therapist for when did I start seeing her? I would say maybe about 3 months ago. And I like to think I'm progressing. I like to think I'm doing well. Working through some issues. As some of you may know, I am moving. I have lived in the St. Louis area for over 17 years. It'll be 18 in March, I believe. Yeah, it'll be 18 years in March. And St. Louis has been wonderful for me. I actually don't live in St. Louis. I live in Belleville. But anyway, um, St. Louis, the Metro East area has been wonderful for me. It's been wonderful to me. But I also know that it's time for me to go. I know there are greener pastures ahead for me. And not to say that St. Louis doesn't have its own thing. I think every city has its own groove and its own niche. It's just my personal opinion. And also every city is what you make of it too. But I am moving to Houston, Texas, and I'm moving there next spring, and I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I think Houston's a wonderful city. It has its bad qualities like every other city. Trust me, traffic is no joke. But thus far from what I've seen about it, I like it. But I'm not here about that to talk about that. But I just wanted to let you know what I've been dealing with and what I've been going through, and that's why I've been kind of MIA, lately. So I was talking with a friend of mine 2 days ago, and we were talking, and he said, what I've noticed about you is that you often uh you you hide behind your stage name. And let me kind of let you guys, and I'm pretty sure you guys know this already. Leo Brown is not my actual name. My actual name is Brandon Kingsley. Um, Brown is my actual name. Brown is my last name. My last name is true, but my stage name is Leo, my moniker that I go by. And I go by that for work events, for things like that, for business purposes. So, and he said, you tend to hide behind it a lot. You don't show who Brandon Kingsley is. Brandon Kingsley is the dude that just wants to go out and, you know, um, eat food and hang out and maybe have a little sip or something and hear some spoken word and and listen to neo soul music and talk about life. But you hide behind your Leo Brown moniker a lot. And I got to thinking about that. And I said, in my life, and this is where I kind of get a little bit, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. In my life, I felt that I've had to do that. I've had to hide behind my um, moniker, so to speak. Um, in some circles, I'm known as Brandon. In some circles, I'm known as Kingsley. In some circles, I'm known as Leo. So, or all three. And with each name that I've given myself, I felt like I have to throw something or some part of me away. Because, it's like, well, that part of me is gone. And it's not, you know, um, you know, I'm Leo now. I'm not Brandon anymore. And that really has got me to thinking like, you are losing yourself. You're not being true to who you are. You're holding back from living your true authentic life. And I think, maybe a lot of us, maybe some of you can relate to this in some way that, we tend to get lost in our stuff, whether it be our relationship, whether it be our work life, whether it be our friends. We tend to get so lost in that we forget us. We forget who we are. And case in point, get back to what my friend was telling me on the phone, and we talked on the phone for like 2 hours. And he was like, I think you need to find a balance in that. I think you need to, really make peace with that side of you that you I won't say I've lost, but you've separated from. And I'm like, that's true. I do need to make peace with that. Not just for my life, but just for me in general. Because, I'm gonna go, you know, I okay. I really didn't want to get this kind of personal, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So I came out when I was 16, Obviously I'm gay as hell, okay? Um, but came out when I was 16. And my coming out experience was not the typical, sit mom down on the couch and say, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. It wasn't that at all. It was very secretive. It was very like, me looking at porn at 16 and doing it late at night and sneaking around and hiding, basically. And so when I came out and my mom and older sister found out about it, they didn't throw me away physically, but emotionally, they threw me out. And so, to make a very long story short, I met people and friends that accepted me and said, you're a part of our group. You're one of us. You're good. And so I said, you know what? Fine. So the Brandon Kingsley side of me just said, okay, fine, we're done. We won't associate with family. We won't associate with cousins, with uncles, with aunts, with any. We'll just completely disengage and disconnect. And that's exactly what I did. From 16 until maybe 29, I didn't talk to my family at all. I shouldn't say that. I talked to my mother and sister, of course, back and forth, but and tried to slowly repair our relationship, which never happened. Our relationship now is a relationship of tolerance. But when it came to my aunts and my uncles and cousins and stuff, I never talked to them. I never reached out to them. I never called them. I never let them know, like, I missed y'all and I missed them. And recently, my cousins, I don't know how they found me. I don't know how they found me. But they found me. Two of my cousins found me via social media. And I'm like, part of me was like, what are you doing here? And then part of me was like, that whole Color Purple thing. And in a moment, like things that I've done in my childhood with them, things like sleepovers, and we would have dance and singing contests, and just fun. We were always close. And that just kind of flashed in my mind. And, they're talking to me via Messenger, and they're like, um, we miss you. We haven't seen you. Now, mind you, my family, my cousins, and when I say family, I mean my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. Since my grandmother and grandfather have both passed away, my aunt has passed away. She just passed away last month. Um, and I haven't seen them since 1997. And when that happened, I just said, fuck it. I just threw the baby out with the bathwater, basically. And I didn't realize that in the interim, I was hurting myself. I wasn't hurting them. Yes, I was mad. I was mad at my mother and sister for not accepting me. But in turn, I ran away from myself. Okay? And I'm realizing now, like, yes, I go by Leo. Yes, that is my moniker. That's my stage name. And if you call me Leo Brown, I will answer to it. Trust me. But that Leo Brown and Brandon Kingsley Brown are the same person. They're not separate entities. You know what I mean? And I think for a long time I felt that I always had to be separate. I always had to be like, okay, well, when Leo was on, Leo has to be prim and proper and a gentle lady, as I like to say. And excuse me, and never, there's never a hair out of place. He speaks with correct diction in English. He has correct, even as I'm talking, I can feel my posture starting to change. Um, he, um, he's always right. He's always insightful. He's always spiritual. He's never, he's always insightful. You know what I mean? There's never anything quote unquote wrong. Whereas Brandon Kingsley is just a laid back dude who's like, look, I want some chicken. I want a man to rub on my booty and tell me I'm pretty. Okay. Um, and I'm realizing it's like, wait a minute, they're the same person. Why have you separated yourself from that? So I guess what I'm saying to all of you is if you're struggling with this, if you're dealing with this, make peace with yourself. That's one thing I'm learning to do. I'm learning to, because here's the thing. I look at people like Iyanla. I look at people like, who's another one? Like Louise Hay. I look at people like Gary, what was his name? No, not Gary Zukav, Dwayne Dyer. And for a long time, I followed their blueprint. I was like, I want to be like them. I want to be like Iyanla and da. But if you notice, especially, and I'm going to use Iyanla as a good example. If you notice Iyanla Vanzant, now mind you, there are certain things that she does that I do not agree with. I'm just like, okay, girl, all that yelling and but that's Auntie Iyanla. That's how she rolls, okay? And I respect her. She is an elder, and I respect her, and I love her, and I honor her. Trust me, because if I met her, I would be probably a mess. But the one thing that I've noticed that is common with Iyanla Vanzant is transparency. Every show that she does or every book that she has, she doesn't talk about other people. She talks about herself, and she applies it to us, the regular Joes, who may be going through the exact same thing that she's going through. And even when I wrote like my first book, and for those of you who want to go buy it, you're more than welcome. It's called Honey, I'm Fabulous and So Are You. Yes, I know it's a shameless plug, but okay, it is what it is. So even when I wrote my first book, the one thing that at least for me, the one thing that I wish I was more of in the book was more transparent. And it wasn't that I wasn't, it's not that I'm not transparent in the book, because I am. If you read the book, I am. But I always feel there's more. I think I kind of scratched the surface. And so what I'm saying to all of you, for those of you who are watching, is make peace with who you are. You cannot run from yourself. You cannot run from your inner child, as they say, your inner adolescent. Because Brandon and even in high school, I was known as Kingsley because I hated my name, because I hated my first name, simply because growing up there were like 5 other Brandons in the same class, and so whenever the teacher would be like Brandon, we'd all turn. That, and my mother always called me Brandy growing up, so my mother called me Little Brandy, and I hated it. So I decided when I was in high school, I said, "Fuck it, my name's gonna be Kingsley." But then no one could pronounce it. People would call me Kinsley, King Dean. No one could, Lee. People couldn't pronounce it. So now, thanks to Harry Potter, thank you, J.K. Rowling, people can actually pronounce my name. So my middle name, rather. But I always felt, well, Brandon is a child. Kingsley is the angry adolescent, the angstful teenager who just wants to be loved and be fabulous. And then Leo Brown is, the grown woman who can do whatever she wants. Okay? But I'm realizing now that that's not true. They're all one and the same person. So I'm saying to all of you, make peace with who you are. Make peace with yourself. Make peace with the child that's in you, the child, the adolescent, the grown-ass person that's within your life. Because trust me, when you lay down at night, I don't care if you're married or not. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're poly. I don't care if you're monogamous. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi, trans. It don't matter. Okay? And by the way, if you are any of those things, I love you all. But if you don't make peace with you, you will never have peace. It will never happen. And, last night, as I was writing the blog post about this and writing my feelings and putting out my baby picture and just really tearing off layers and letting people know, like, look, I'm all these things. That yes, I'm spiritual, and yes, I'm a psychic, and yes, I am, I'm a medium, and yes, I love to speak and empower and help people through what I do, through my gift of of speaking, of all of that. I love everything about it. I love traveling, but I'm also a human. You know, I love, hey, I'm gonna be real. I love some trap music. I love mumble rap. I love Cardi B. It took me a minute to it really did. It took me a minute to like grow. It grew on me. But now I love the damn song because I get what she's trying to say. She's like, look, I started one way and now look at me. Um Hell, I love sex. Okay, I love it, honey. With the right person. And I don't be hitting me up somebody you want to do all kinds of things. Okay, you got to take a brother out, take a gentle lady out on a date. Okay, just saying. But but I love all those things. I'm all those things, and that's one thing I'm starting to embrace and see within myself. And now that I'm doing that, and I'm healing that part of me that I separated from, and I'm letting it in. I find that I'm letting my guard down, and I'm more open to me. Because let's be real, you got to be open to you first. So I'm more open to me than I've been ever. And is it scary? Yeah. Is it hard? Hell yeah. Is it worth it? Fuck yeah. It is. I'm just being honest with y'all. So, I just came on here to say that. I know this is kind of random, but I really wanted to discuss this because I think a lot of us hide behind what we do. We hide behind our credentials. We hide behind our mates. We hide behind our friends. What are you running from? Who are you running from? Ask yourself that question. Um, why are you making the decisions that you're making? What are they based on? And that's one thing I'm realizing now. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why am I doing this? Why am I running away from the inner child that just wants to have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and watch Doug reruns? And why am I running away from the adolescent who wants to just enjoy his sexuality and embrace it and love his body and be the shit? And why am I not embracing the person who wants to be the Leo Brown, who wants to be successful and 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 stunt on hoes, okay? And just kill it. But they all want that. You know what I mean? They all of them do. So they're not separate. So that's one thing. The one thing I would say is to all of you is if you find yourself hiding behind whatever it may be, learn to bridge the gap and do some healing work within that. Hell, I'll help you. Because even healers need healers, okay? I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I was seeing a therapist. All right? So I'm no better than you. All right? But that's really all I had to say. I just wanted to come on here and say this to hopefully this helps someone. Hopefully it made sense because I might have rambled. I tend to do that. Excuse me, but I wanted to say this to all of you. And until next time, darlings, it was me, the fabulous Leo Brown. You can call me any name you choose. I will answer to them all. But until next time, it's me, the fabulous Leo Brown, and I will talk with you all very, very soon. I love you all. You're wonderful, and keep the faith, keep being safe, keep doing you, and I thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Love you. Bye-bye.